Went out to the East Alabama Gun Club range today and took my Ransom rest and put my CZ75 9mm in there. And I took along a lot of ammo that I've been making in the last couple of weeks on the Dillon 1050, using various bullets and powders. And I was to the point of really wanting to know which of these is going to give us the best accuracy. And that's the whole reason for having it out there. That's why you have a Ransom.
Ransom rest.
Yeah, Ransom rest, that's it. It was a beautiful day, but very, very windy. So you'll have to put up with that.
I don't know about the wind. It's probably not going to be too good. Here we are clamped down on the table. I got 4 clamps. And pretty much I'm the only person out here, except there's somebody right over the hill, the rifle range. So, very good. All right, you put your pistol in there. You take these 3 screws off, or nuts rather, these little finger nuts. And behind them there are some brass, heavy-duty brass thrust washers. You want to get those off, otherwise they're just going to fall off. And then you take this cover plate off, and it's a very good fit, so you kind of have to do them all at the same time. There we go. So that comes off. Then, the hard part is getting the actual grip thing out. I'll tell you what, I'll take it apart, show you. On the inside, it's cut out to match the exact profile of your gun. And each one of these is for a specific gun. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says right there, CZ Model 75. I don't know if that's readable or not, but anyway. And however, I did have to modify it slightly. You see where I worked on it with an X-Acto knife, and it was because the magazine release was hitting. And so when I put it in there, the magazine wouldn't stay because that was being depressed. Okay, you put this on there. Of course, the other half was already there. And then you just kind of drop your gun in there and get your trigger adapter in place. And then you just kind of work it. It feels like it's, yep. You'll feel it when it gets into the right place. It gets very snug. At that point, you can put your cover plate, your little thrust washers, and the nuts back on. Let's speed this up. Okay, now they're all on there kind of snug, so you just keep finger tightening them until you feel them. They'll get really tight. Right there, feels pretty good. I want to check the gun. Yep, it's empty. So what happens is when this thing shoots, it recoils like so. And that's where it stops. That's the most it can go. In truth, that would be maybe a 44 Magnum or something, but even that probably wouldn't. This will probably recoil to about here. But you have access at the bottom, so you put your magazine in, and now they're staying, and that's good. And I can get down in there. Oh, I can't. Wait a minute. I might have to get a stick or something out here to release that each time. But anyway, that's that. And then we want to make sure that we know it's in place. We can check our trigger. Nobody down there. Bang, here it goes. Yeah, that's working. All right, I think we're zeroed in on our target roughly. I've got a magazine full of ammo to test. Stick it up in there, push it back down, and whoop, chamber around. Now we should be ready to shoot. So let's make sure it's down. Yes, it is. Make sure it's still pointing at the target, and it seems to be. So there we go. Yeah, almost in the middle. Let's try another one. These will be to settle it in, give it a chance to. That's not bad. All right. That's not bad. And let's see. Yep. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now, I'm going to point this thing up. It's still hot. I want to take you down here. Let's see what I was shooting. So that's not bad. Now what I can do is take a piece of white paper, and now that I know my aiming point, and put it right there, and I can change out the paper each time to keep up with what I'm doing, you know? And the distance is, I think it's between 15 and 20 yards. It's not that far, but it's far enough because all I want to know is the relative difference in the various loads that I've got. Well, when you know it, we're going to have a storm tonight, I think. And the wind's coming out this afternoon. And I put a piece of white paper down there on top of the bullet holes. So the next 5 or 6, however many I've got in here, should hit right on that paper, and I've labeled the paper as to what it is. So let's give it a try. I'm standing in the way of the ejecting brake. Didn't hurt, but I believe there's a better way. And I'll do it. All right, here's the first one, and I've got the information up at the top about the load and all that, and then there's the group. Now, I should be using some cardboard, you know, like a file folder board, and not such big pieces, but I didn't know I was going to come, so this is all spur of the moment. We'll just have to live with it. This is called improvising. All right, new load right here, some 135 grain bullets with a light charge of tight group. All right, let's hope it's still shooting in the same spot. We'll find out, because a different load, it may hit higher or something. Nope, right in there with it. Oh, not such a good load. Not such a good group, though. Yeah, those are kind of spread out. There's a couple on top of each other. And that one fell in there with the group. So did that one. So maybe we just got one outlier. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. There we go. Whoa. Tore a big hole up there. Now they're shooting through the same hole. Okay. Walk out there and get that one. This is what is known as being very foolish or having a great deal of faith in the accuracy of this Ransom rest. I'll start shooting it momentarily. to understand, I'm not worried at all about that one because that was the first one out of the magazine, and sometimes that alone has things upset. It also had not given the gun a chance to settle down. The second shot moved it over. The other 8 shots were right there. So, wow, that's 6.4 grains of HS6 with that same 135 grain bullet. Houston, we have a winner on that one. Woo-hoo. Like that. On the back of this, some of my son's organic chemistry notes from 1994 at Auburn, or 92. Whenever, yeah, about 92, I guess, at Auburn. I don't know. I have no idea what this is about, but it was a handy notebook, and I know he doesn't want it anymore. Thanks, Dad. When the sun gets around on the back side of the target, it makes it easy to see where you want to put your target. You know what I mean? Kind of cool. All right, I got another magazine to put in, but before I do, let me just tell you that what you see here there are 3 things. There's the actual Ransom rest itself, and that's this part that pivots, and the upper part that has the clamp and the spring and all that. It also includes this part where the screws are, a base that you could attach to anything. Ransom also sells this base assembly called a windage base, and it has an adjustment so you can swing left and right. And that's kind of handy if you set up a big sheet of paper and you shot, you know, a group here, move over a little bit, shoot a group, move over a little, shoot a group, and you can do it with that. And the third part is this plywood base, which I have clamped to the table. It consists of some thick parts up here at the front, and then an open gap, and then another thick part at the back. So the middle is not supported, and Ransom says that's very important.
Unfortunately, at this point, the wind got so bad you can't understand a word that I'm saying, but the point is that that's a very specific design, and it used to be available at the Ransom website. I suppose it still is, and you can make your own. They also make a metal base now, a large base that you use for clamping down, but you can make this one.
All right, wind or no wind, we got our target out there. Let's stick our ammo in there. We'll let go with our first one. And I'll be willing to bet we're going to have a flyer on the first one and then the second one a little bit. All right, that one's just a little bit low compared to where we were, pretty close to it. Now, that one's off and to the upper to the left, up and to the left, just like the previous. Yep, and that one's touching the second one, so that seems to be the pattern. The first one gives you a low to the right, and then the rest give you a cluster. This will rattle your fillings, you know it? But now I hope you can understand the importance of this rest, is that it removes the human element. I'd be worn out. I'm tired enough as it is, but I would really be worn out if I was trying to hold it. I'd be, shaking everywhere, be like Bill Clinton out there trying to hit something. Okay, let me go get this target. Not a bad group, but it's not great. It's nothing to. Can't get it to be still. The wind is so bad. This was that first shot, down low and to the right, and then everything moves up to the left, and the group forms itself up there. No, we don't have a winner on that one. This is the way they do it in the magazines. They always sit down. And they have a cup of coffee and a slide rule and crap like that. This is the way you do it in the real world. You wipe sweat out of your nose. I swear. Okay, let's see if it's true to form. This is that same 135 grain bullet. And I've got mixed feelings about this one. I got a feeling this is going to be the best group we got, and that makes me sad because, if that's true, because the powder is SR4756, a DuPont powder, now marketed and made by Hogden, and they're discontinuing it, so there you go. It'll probably just be spectacular. All right, first shot. Okay, it's wherever it is. Now let's see where number 2 goes. Yep, up to the, yeah, hit here, goes up to the left. You can count on it every time. Third shot hit right there with the second one. And that one kind of hit in between. That one's right on top of that. That's on top of the second one. That's on top of the second one. There's one big hole going up there. Oh boy. Ah, last one. By the way, you notice I never pushed on the gun to put it down. You don't ever do that. There's a little tab over here you push down with on the, that's part of the ransom rest. If you push on the gun, you'll mess it up. I mean, you know, just that little bit. Yeah, SR4756. It looks good. I tell you what I really like about it. It smells like Winchester shotgun shells did when I was a boy back in the 50s. I love the smell of gunpowder in the morning, yes sir. Okay, SR4756. Let's point this thing up. Thank you very much. Y'all, I couldn't make this up if I tried. Look at that. You got, we can almost discount that one, but we got 3 out here, and then we've got 6 right there, one big ragged hole. SR4756. Oh, Hogden, please don't take my Kodachrome away. I wish I wouldn't discontinue it. It's a great pistol powder. But, you know, time marches on, with or without me. Thought you might want to see what these things look like for what it's worth. This is these are all plated bullets that I'm shooting today. And the 135s come from a company called Extreme Bullets, Extreme Bullets. And I got little marks on there indicating that they have been gauged. I got a little gauge plate that I run 100 through at a time. Make sure they're all the same. Gold! I have gold! Yes. Pieces of 8.0. All right. You can tell I'm by myself, can't you? Now let me tell you about this one. This bullet is different. It's 124 grain plated round nose bullet, just like I've been shooting a lot of, in addition to the 135. But what happened was a couple, 3, 4 years ago, I don't know, I ordered a whole bunch of bullets from Rocky Mountain Reloading. Good people, y'all. And a few days later, I got an email from him saying they had sent out, they had gotten in some, they discovered undersized bullets. And they sent them out to about 8 customers, and they think I was one. Measure them, let them know. So I did, I called him. He was very appreciative, sent me replacement, actually more than I had originally bought, told me to keep those. Said, try them out, you may like them. Well, I have. I've shot them, and they actually shoot pretty good. The only thing about is that they don't tend to fit real tight in the case. So, you know, they're kind of special children, if you know what I mean. But that's okay. They work. And now we're going to just see how they stack up accuracy-wise with their full-size brothers, but like I said, 1.5 to 2.5 thousandths small. Man, it didn't even hit that. Yeah, of course it did. It's right out there. And now that broke our pattern. The first one was up high, and the second one was down low and to the left. Okay, whatever. So let's see. But the third one hit right with the second one. But the fourth one is right on the edge of the paper. Back in the group again. Back up there. I'll tell you what, they're not bad. Almost cover most of them with your hand. I'm probably talking and the camera's just shut off with the, boom. I don't know how many of them. Okay, enough anyway. You know what, folks, that's not too bad. Let me get it and show you. All right, we'll take a look at this in situ, as scientists would say. That was the first one, and that was the second one. And then the third one was in here. Most of them were in here, but you got one here, and that was about the fifth one I said. You remember I said hit the edge of the paper. So, like I said, most of them you could cover easily, but there's 4 flyers, and those are genuine flyers. Now, all the time in the magazines, they'll shoot a group and they'll have one out there and they'll say, oh, shooter error, oh, bull, doop. Oh, it's not. It's just you. The cartridge just did that. If you don't shoot a lot, it won't be statistically relevant. I'm not even sure 10 is, but 10 is a heck of a lot better than 3, so, or even 5. It gives us a really good idea of what we got there. So if you can get a good deal on some undersized bullets, take them. Just remember they don't fit really tight. Oh, by the way, I had to use a Lee factory crimp die, and that got it pretty much tight enough that, it doesn't, I wouldn't go into combat with it, but otherwise it's fine. SIG MPX Gen 2. SIG magazine for MPX Gen 1. Let's see what happens here.
The Gen 2 magazines are about $60 a piece, and they're selling Gen 1 magazines for $17, $18, $19 each. So I bought 4, even though some people on the internet said that they don't work. So I thought, well, maybe they will. Why don't we actually find out rather than just surmise? It's not going to cost that much. So I bought 4.
Well, we find out here.
Well, that concludes our little test. I guess you can see that the Gen 1 magazine in the Gen 2 MPX works. Well, at least it did for me on that particular day with all 4 magazines. We had a good time with it all. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.